Hey guys, check this out.
Hello and welcome to Check This Out, a podcast where we take an analytical view of the media that appeals to us as individuals and why. I am Elle, your host, and with me today is special guest and not only enemy of the show, but nemesis of the show, Mara.
Gasp! I've been upgraded. I'm so excited.
If you would, please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Mara, at YarnQuester on Twitter. I play games, and I'm a librarian, officially. Super exciting. And I think I introduced myself last time as a swap witch, so I'm going with that.
But that is cool that you now are officially a librarian. You've got that upgrade status all over.
Exciting.
You're bringing something to the table that you enjoy and are passionate about. Could you talk a little bit about it in your own words?
Well, it's this thing called books, Al. Books, they are made of paper, sort of hard, soft cover, hard cover, whatever you want. You can also do them online. I'm a really big fan, and I've got one specifically.
Wait, slow down a sec. A book?
Yeah, it's
a book.
Yeah. It's sort of it's one of those strange English vowels. Sort of sounds. It's very good. But no, I'm here to talk to you about Ancillary Justice because you got very excited when I said sentient spaceship. So I'm super excited for it.
It's just such an interesting idea.
It is. And this book is very good at it. So I'm super jazzed.
Cool. So I have my usual prepared list of questions that are designed to delve a bit deeper into that enjoyment of yours, if that's okay.
Yup, I will try and stay on track. Unlike last time. Probably, mostly. We'll tangent. It'll be fun.
Last time was fun too.
Heck yes. First question. Hit me.
I'm not allowed to legally, and also distance is an issue.
You could get like one of those really silly string kind of ones. We had them when I was a kid at like all of the fairs.
The sort of rubber sticky slap hand thing.
My parents confiscated them because they'd get dog hair all over them and got real gross.
I was just picturing the giant boxing glove on a spring.
Oh, no. These are like little, like sticky, like jelly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wasn't thinking of that. I was just giant pop-out boxing glove.
That could work too. I feel like, you could put that in a package and sort of like one of those, was it exploding worm cans? Or no, it's a snake in a can. That's what they're called.
Yeah, advertising like peanuts.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're off topic already.
That would definitely pass customs.
Absolutely, yeah. Improvised explosive device, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's only a little bit of gunpowder.
Plus, I mean, it's going to the States. That's
Oh, boy.
Yeah, let's not. Question 1. Imagine I was someone that's recently been awoken from a coma or resurrected from being frozen in ice or even an inanimate object gifted knowledge of modern times and sentience. So essentially, I know what media is, but I have never personally experienced any. How would you explain ancillary justice without comparing it to something that I wouldn't know?
I hate this question. It's so hard. I compare everything to everything else. It's the only way I know how to operate. Okay, I'll try. Ancillary justice is a like tense, but not actiony, kind of exploration of empires and like people within the cultures of an empire and what happens when things start to change and some people in the system are resistant to it and some aren't, and like the conflict between that. And it's also on like personhood and what it means to like have rights, and it's just it's so good. It's very like, nope, I'm gonna compare it to something, never mind. It's very like, it made me think a lot. I like that in a book, but it also had like plot stuff. There are two ongoing plots in this one. So Ancillary Justice, I should say the author's name is by Anne Leckie. It's also called the Ratched trilogy. 3 books. There's Ancillary Justice, Ancillary Mercy, or Ancillary Sword and Ancillary Mercy. I think that's the order that that's the order that they're in. Oh wait, hang on. Let me double check. I've got them here. Yeah, Sword is the second one and Mercy is the last one. But they're all kind of you can read the first one, like lots of series, you can read the first one without like having to go on to the rest of it. It doesn't like have a cliffhanger ending at the back of it, which I know is sometimes appealing. Like if it's not your thing, then you don't get left with that itch of, damn it, now I have to just read it because I need to know what happened. That kind of thing.
You don't have that like sense of commitment to a series.
Yes, exactly. And the other ones are all like, the plot doesn't all get tied up, but like the bigger plot doesn't get all tied up, because the bigger plot is that Anander Mianai, who's the emperor of all of civilized space, basically, from the perspective of most of the characters, is at war with himself or herself. Sorry. I also like this, and I think you might like it, because it does interesting gender things, which is always fun. In that every in the Ratched, in like it's very the setting is loosely based on like the concept of an empire like Imperial Rome, which history time was an empire that tended to just like absorb other cultures into it, but not require them to like convert everything to the conquering country. So it tended to have a whole lot of like weird things that got absorbed into it, like how they basically took all of Greek mythology and said, no, this is ours now. That kind of thing. And so the Ratched Empire, their language uses she for pronouns for everyone. It doesn't differentiate by gender. Other languages in the system that kind of it doesn't play like a plot crucial point, but it like adds to the like world building type of thing. Other languages require gender or don't, or use different ones, etc., etc. And that causes problems for Breck, who is the main character of our story. Because she's like, why do I have to do this? This makes it so much more difficult. I'm so anxious that I'm going to get it wrong.
Yeah, and
Because
I mean, I'm
know
nothing
it.
if not a weird gender thing.
Yeah. So main character is Breck. Breck is also known as Justice of Torin, or Torin-esque one, which refers to like Justice of Torin is a military ship, or was. There are the two plot lines that I was kind of referencing before. One is happening in the present, and one of them's happening, oh goodness, I don't remember the exact date, but at least 20 years ago, I think, in the plot, when something happened that I'm not going to spoil for you because it's a big dramatic thing. But those are kind of both going along in this book, and they kind of get revealed at the same time to sort of show the central conflict kind of thing. It's very cool. I think I've answered your question.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool. There are two plots: space, empire, etc., etc.
Awesome. So, question 2. Hypothetically, our positions are reversed, and I'm guesting on your immensely popular and award-winning podcast.
Yes.
I've just answered the previous question with your response verbatim. What stood out to you the most?
Okay. Well, I too love a good sci-fi from a ship's perspective. I've got two answers to this question. This is the first one. I know it's like the stereotype. I'm asexual, and there's the stereotype of all ace characters in sci-fi are the robots. And like, I get that, but also I love robot characters so much. They're so much fun to like. I grew up watching Star Trek with my dad, and Data was my favorite character in that whole entire thing. If you're not familiar, Data in Star Trek The Next Generation is the android character, and his whole like character arc over the series is that he wants to learn what it is to be human, because he was made to look human, and like he had a parent and he has siblings, and at one point he has a child. And it's an interesting like question, I think, to like ponder. Plus, you can do fun things with robots. You know, you can have guns in arms, sword, lasers, all sorts of cool stuff. All the sci-fi things. I like that. And like with the ship, and I really like how this book does the like perspective that a giant warship has. So setting lore, and this gets like laid out fairly early in the book, so I hope I'm not spoiling too much. The ancillaries, or as my audiobook calls it, Ancillaries, because they have a fancy accent in this audiobook, and it's very fun to listen to. So another point for the audiobook version. I have not finished it in audiobook, but I kind of like it that way too. Ancillaries are the way ships are run by AI. And so Wreck is technically like the AI of the ship, not like the ship itself, but like the AI core in it. Which, side note, AIs are also really fun. I'm running a Space Cipher game for my friends, and I have an AI self-insert GM character, and it's super fun. Shenanigans are happening. I'm enjoying it immensely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But AIs run warships in the Wretched. And the way they do that is by having like sensors and like, you know, all of the functions of a ship, but also they have ancillary units, which are basically zombies that they have taken from all of the places they've colonized, put them on in cryofreeze basically, and implanted them with various unspecified implants that erase their old memories and make them like part of just the AI system itself. And then they have hundreds of them potentially. Justice of Torin at the beginning of this book is like 2,000 plus years old. It's been in service for a very long time, and the Ratched has been in the like present time period has been scaling back how much they've been doing these invasions, because a treaty was recently signed and it had implications for like who's human, and we have to be nice to other humans because otherwise terrifying aliens called the Presker are going to eat all our brains or something. It's not really specified. They're like the big bad of the series that everyone's terrified, that you never see and never appear and are great.
Reminds me a bit of the Culture series, if you're aware of that.
I am not. What is this? Culture, Culture?
Yeah, it's Ian M. Banks, I believe.
Okay. I know that author.
And the idea is, it is, what does a post-scarcity society look like? It's like, what happens when every problem is solved, basically? Mm-hmm. So you have your AI computer ships that their own personalities. It's just like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll are fine. We've solved that problem. Have as much or as little as you like. Mm-hmm. You want to change your gender for a week? Awesome. Here are the procedures to do that. Go nuts and experiment, because that's how you get a good society.
Nice.
But obviously in that there are their own problems, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Otherwise you wouldn't have a story in there.
Exactly. But that has that whole feel of it to me. It's just like, what does the world look like when everything is a fixed problem?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like this the way this book does the like ship's perspective then with these ancillaries is that especially so the present time period, that storyline is, I misspoke earlier. The present time period one, Breck isn't a ship anymore. Breck is just a single ancillary unit that's been cut off because the disaster thing happened that the earlier story timeline part of the story will explain. So basically, like, I think probably by the halfway point, I'm guessing they sort of like talk about what the breaking point was and why Breck is no longer a ship and is instead one single unit, which is very, very interesting. And I really liked how this author described like the awareness of a ship. It was super cool and made for really interesting points in like the earlier storyline of like there's a point when part of its awareness, the ship's awareness, gets cut off from itself, and like it freaks out because she freaks out because the things she can't see properly, and has to like figure out what that means and why, because usually that doesn't happen. And like there's also a really cool thread in the book, which I'm really interested. I haven't gotten to the point where I've only seen a little bit of this in the audiobook version I'm listening to, but this author also plays around with the idea of like choral music and music being a part of culture. Breck, as Justice of Torin, has been like collecting songs because at some point one of her captains liked music, and Justice of Torin liked this captain, so it said, okay, sure, I'll find songs for you, basically, and she's just kept doing that, basically. So it's really fun to like hear that, and that gets like tied into the idea of like this being with multiple voices.
Yeah, and even cool. like even this little overview of it, I'm already like spinning off ideas for my own writing. It's like, oh, I could once I read that part, I'll steal parts of that, and ooh,
Heck yes. Yeah, no, I love books that do that too. It's like, ooh, so many creative ideas. Anyway, so that's my like first like favorite thing from that like struck me when I started reading it. And then the second thing, hang on, I gotta remember. I've tangented so far. The AI, and then also like I like this one a lot because I'm not hugely into sci-fi. When I was a kid, like the ones I got into the like there's the like sci-fi fantasy section right in the library, but the ones I got into more were the fantasy side of things. My dad had some sci-fi books, but they were very much like 70s 80s style sci-fi, and he didn't have Ursula Le Guin, who I've also read recently, and I'm like, ooh, this is different sci-fi story perspective. I don't know. I really enjoy that. And I don't know.
I should read that again. It's been a while.
Yeah. I very much enjoyed it. I read it last year. So I'm very new to like reading sci-fi like now, and it's been really cool to dive into that and see how much there is now, because like my dad, I mostly what I read before was like Ray Bradbury, and then a bunch of other ones probably that I don't remember all because they didn't make that much of an impression and I didn't like them clearly, so I just didn't read sci-fi then.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So it's like been cool to dive back into that. The other one that I contemplated bringing for this was the Murderbot Diaries series by Martha Wells, which is also really good. I went with this one instead because I think I like it I like both of them, and I have been re-listening to the Murderbot Diaries sort of on repeat. It's like my new favorite. I joked about this with someone. I got through my last grad school stint by just reading the Dresden Files, and now Murderbot Diaries. I like that one a lot, but it's more like classic robot learns to become human, or like figures out how to people again. And I like this one because it's got a bit of that, but like it's a lot bigger. I think it's got like a lot more interesting stuff happening. So I chose this one instead.
Yeah. And I mean, as I said, I'd probably have to read this first to get a better grasp of this. But just as an early days guess, I would say that you would really like the Culture series.
Yeah, no, I'll have to find that one. Yeah. Take a look.
I mean, it's one of the more popular ones as far as I'm aware, so it should be pretty easy. Worst case scenario, I'm sure like there's some sort of public institution that orders these books in that you might be able to get in contact with or something.
Yeah, that'd just be a great thing, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah. Oh, if only.
Yeah.
Oh well, capitalism, ho. Question 3. We can tell that this is a subject that you care about, but what got you to give it a chance in the first place?
Ooh, I like that. I found this one specifically because I tore through Murderbot Diaries and I was like, I love this. This was amazing. Where can I read more? Damn it. The rest of the things this author has written are like fantasy basically. And I was like, damn it. I need my fix, right? Because what happens to me is I read a series and then I like languish for a little while on slight despair over the fact that I cannot keep reading it. It has ended. The story has ended, and there are no more books. And then usually I try and go for something completely different, because usually what happens is I try and read something similar and it's not the same, or like, this is what happened to me. I have never finished The Legend of Korra. I started it, but I started it way too soon after finishing Avatar, and it was not the same, and I did not like it, so I have not watched it. But after I finished Murderbot Diaries, I went and I have recently started using Storygraph. Plug time. It's a free app that is basically like Goodreads, but without all the Amazon all up in it. And I like it. And I went in there and I clicked on their page for the Murderbot Diaries, and it was like, can you find me more books about this, like this? And this was one of the suggested ones, in like, a whole series of them. Ian Banks is probably in there. I just skipped past that one, but now I'll have to stop and look at it. But what caught me was, let's see. I mean, I judge books by covers, so it's got a pretty good cover. The cover for my version is like some very like painting looking, two little ships kind of flying over a bigger ship and a moon in the background. So that's a damn good cover. And I don't know, probably the same things that you kind of got caught by. So that's why I figured I'd bring it.
Fair.
Colossal starship, AI, burning desire for vengeance. I love a good revenge story. Sometimes they're not good, but like I do enjoy them, and when they're done well, it's like, oh, this is good. This one it's not, doesn't have like the if you're looking for a revenge story with like release, like, they get them at the end, it does that a little different, so you might get disappointed on that. But I like
Vengeance Blue Balls.
Yeah, but it's not a vengeance blue balls, but it does the like vengeance is still very much there. Breck does not forgive or any sort of things with that. But it's more like it morphs a bit. And it does interesting things at the end of like the whole trilogy. There is a revenge. And it's in a very different direction than I ever thought it would go. So I liked it.
Yeah, I think for me, what
surprised.
jumped out the most is that it's different perspectives than you'd normally get. Like in video games, there's the concept of the Steve. Like,
wait, I have not heard of this. What is this?
Mid-30s to like just bordering on 40s, male, close-cut brown hair with a bit of stubble. Is potentially ex-military and is looking for his wife.
Yeah,
and that is the character that you get for like basically every game. So
I have started Fallout. That is my character. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's like any time that there's a different perspective, it's like, okay, I'm just willing to give it a chance on that alone.
I like it. That's very good.
It's like we've
I like that
heard,
perspective on it.
We've heard the Steve story. It's 100 times over. We've heard it. We know what's going to happen. Just like give me something different.
Yeah. Oh, and so then I want to talk a little bit about the like there are other characters in this besides Breck, Justice of Torin. So there are in the earlier timeline, there's like Breck's old captain and other officers. The one that is really like fleshed out is Lieutenant On, who is stationed on this like tiny little like crossroads pilgrimage spot, basically. You know, like it's a like swampy village or like town on the edge of a swamp. It's always muggy and gross, and no one really wants to be stationed there.
Yep.
But she is, and she has. There are some like sexual relationships, but they aren't like described, so that's not hopefully gonna bother you. And like Justice of Torrin itself is a ace. Is in my opinion anyway. The and then in like the now storyline, one of Breck's old lieutenants has shown up again. Basically, she had gotten like cryo-freezed when she got caught up in sort of some things that had happened, and had gotten thawed out 1,000 years later, and is having to deal with like the effects of I was an important person. I was very cool and like had a whole bunch of nobility and had house and political power and all of this stuff, and now I have nothing, and so is kind of on the skids. And Breck rescues her at the beginning of the story, and she gets sort of dragged along and then starts to choose to go along, and it's a whole, they have like a little bit of like an antagonistic thing going on, and then like growing into like a friendship. It's very cool. I like that a bunch.
Yeah.
I love me some feelings. It's good.
Plus, as I said, it's a different perspective. Because,
Yep.
Again, it's like, I'm sure you're probably more well aware of this than I am, but how many ace characters are there in popular media?
Not many. I mean, this is a story I always like to tell. Is my first one that I ever saw. Besides like Big Bang Theory, which I have feelings about.
It has its own
like
issues.
But like the first one that was just character that was just identified was actually I saw was in, oh goodness, a sci-fi, or not a sci-fi, bleh, a USA comedy, like a 30-minute USA comedy called Sirens, that was a remake of a British version, and one of the it centers around like some paramedics, ambulance drivers, and they're like dynamics. And one of the characters very early in the first season is like, I'm ace, I'm not interested, but if you want to date, cool. And then they find a finger. The whole thing.
As you do.
As one does. It was a very like dark comedy. I loved it. And I remember watching that and like yelling at the TV because I was super excited. I had like just, figured out my own stuff, and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
this is a thing.
I think that's why, like, my favorite book, like, ever, is The Deed of Paxenarion by Elizabeth Moon.
I think you told me about this last time.
It's just like, here is a female character that you don't get a lot of in like a position of importance, not just because she's the main character, but is also explicitly ace and goes out of her way to make sure that people know that, and that people are not only comfortable with that, but making sure that everyone else knows and respects.
I love it.
And that is just, you do not get that.
I love it. Yeah. Representation.
Turns out it matters and is important. Who knew?
Yeah. Do more of it, peoples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question 4. For some people, a sense of community and like-mindedness are integral to their enjoyment of something. To your knowledge, is there a community around ancillary justice that you're aware of? And if so, what are they like?
I have no idea. Yeah. I mean, not that I know of, but I haven't gone looking. Like I said, I think I talked a little bit about this before, so I won't like go too much into it. But for me, reading is a very like solitary thing, and I like I love like imagining characters and getting the experience of diving into a book, but I don't. And this is also like a thing of I didn't do a whole lot of like my friends didn't read the same things as me, so like I didn't have that experience of let's all we've all read this and are going to talk about it now and that type of thing. So like I don't generally do that for books. I hope so. I know the Murderbot Diaries does because I've seen a couple of I have found that author on Twitter and have like seen a bit of like fan art, and they did like she did a like Q&A as the main character in that series, and that was really cool to see. And that kind of stuff, but I haven't seen that for this.
I mean, Murderbot is like a very Tumblr sort of aesthetic.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, but yeah.
Yeah, it feels like this one, and because they're so short, like it's very, very easy. I would feel like to kind of develop a fan base fast. That's the other thing with like books. I feel like that's so hard to like have a fit fan base. I'm sure there is one out there because this series has won a whole bunch of like the Hugo and Nebula awards and stuff. So like it's been lauded. Hang on. Let me see if I can find fan art. I'm Googling where we're doing stuff. I also feel like it's hard because for me, like this one doesn't lend itself to visual depictions. I mean, like stuff's described. But I don't know. I don't always like this isn't a book that I saw all the action in my brain because it's not a super I mean, it's kind of thrillery, but it's not like it's not as much action as like Murderbot Diaries. Like the pivotal scenes have action, but a lot of like it is people talking kind of stuff. So in my brain, it's not as like I haven't visualized it in my brain. I see a bunch of fan art. So there's that. I guess it probably does, but I did not know this. There's one with the ace flag. Okay.
So I mean,
Nice.
it's interesting to hear you say all that because it's like I never really had friends until like the last couple of years, maybe potentially, depending on if people think I'm their friend or not. I don't know. It's hard.
You are my friend.
It's hard to tell sometimes. But even then, it's like the people that I was around had just vastly different tastes. So it's like, I have not heard of anything that you are talking about, and you would have no idea about anything that I know of. So why are we talking? It's like, honestly, and I remember there was one day in high school, people were talking about this new group that had come out called the Backstreet Boys. And I'm just like, what even is that? Is that like a Rolling Stones?
I think I'm younger than you. Backstreet Boy. Well, let me see. In third grade, that's when my friend and I sat on. We were in her room and we listened to Britney Spears. Super exciting. I did not get into Backstreet Boys. But yeah, I mean, and yeah, this goes into like a whole bunch of just personal history stuff. But yeah, I didn't watch like mainstream I didn't watch mainstream like network television until I was in high school. So like it's a whole like I don't know what's happening.
Even
type
then,
of
it's
thing.
like the stuff that I did watch is like way too old already.
Yep. Yeah, I have seen a lot of like 50s, 60s television.
It's like I grew up
Yep.
on like Gilligan's Island, where my friends were watching
Oh.
Batman the animated series that I still have never seen.
Yep. Yeah. So like that still happens, but it's cool to know that that's out there and like that's a thing I could find. I don't know. But I don't find it necessary to my enjoyment of a thing.
Yeah, and especially
I mean,
as you've said, with reading being such a intimate thing, even though that's not
yeah,
exactly the word I wanted to use.
personal.
Yeah.
It's like a personal thing. And like I mean I'm struggling with this because as a new librarian I'm gonna have to like do book club and I'm like terrified of it because I've never been in a book club. I've never I mean like you have a stereotype of what they're about, but I'm like what can I do with this? How can I make this something that I would be interested in doing if I didn't have to do it? Kind of thing. There's I got lots of thoughts on that. So
Yeah. I mean, speaking of lots of thoughts on that, question 5. There are many
yes.
aspects of media that resonate differently with different people. What was your favourite part?
Okay. Well there was like the oh this character is ace thing. That was good. I liked I don't know. I think I talked a little bit about this in my last one too. So hopefully I feel like you are learning a lot about my taste in books more than probably my taste in what I think you might like in books. But I like this a bunch because it has that like I have a degree in anthropology. Um and I studied archaeology for my master's degree in school. And so I have a lot of like classes under my belt in uh like comparative cultures and comparative societies and like understanding that your society is not like everyone else's, which is a weird thing. It's like, okay, that's very easy to say, yes, I get that, understand that to that question, but it's not easy to like wrap your brain around like all the things about it. And I like how many I like how this book does culture. I've enjoyed I think that's my favorite thing in the sci-fi writing that I have resonated with. So I have talked I mentioned Star Trek earlier. Star Trek for me does that same sort of thing. It's got like these questions of what is universal humanness, what is humanness in the presence of alien life, in the presence of um, you know manufactured life like androids and AI and all of that jazz. They're interesting questions to me, and I like how this book um, uses that those it uses those culture clashes as both like within or between like the cultures of the wretched and the people they are conquering and doing terrible things to, and also within the wretch itself, because the wretch is made up of all in their history all of these conquered places. The main lieutenant that so like the second the protagonist's best friend in the earlier story is or the earlier timeline is not does not have like a noble background like other people do, and that causes her to have a different perspective than the other characters. and also a very different perspective than the other characters for the people who are native to the planet they're on, that the action is taking place on. And that's very interesting. And like, I don't know, I like books that explore that. I mean, I'm a white lady, so like maybe this is gonna hit other people differently. But I like seeing things that explore that and showing different perspectives. And I think this author is a white lady too, so it's probably not like the best example of this. But I like stuff that looks at that because I think it's important. And like I think we take stuff from books we read and media we observe, and we take like the values that are kind of like woven into it, or that the story sort of not explores but like encourages, because every story has like a perspective on what they're telling you. Like even if even if a character talks about something, if the story sort of contradicts the perspective of this one character, then the story itself is, has a certain perspective. And this one is very like clearly anti-imperial, and these are not things we should do, and we should consider and respect the other cultures that are coming into contact with. And I think that's cool. I don't know, I'm like, ooh, sci-fi, it's doing cool stuff. And this is an author that has more books, so I can read them now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
So always good to find something that like you can sink your teeth into.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and this book has bunches of that.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Question 6. Following on from the previous question, what do you think would appeal most to the general public?
To the general public. I'm gonna go, I don't know. Well, there are spaceships. It is like, it's got a mystery in it up until the reveal of what exactly happened 20 years ago. You don't really know, and that like reveal of that moment is really gut punching. I think people would like that. I think the like it's I don't know my sci-fi history super well, but like I feel like this one doesn't have like a whole lot of precedence. It's not like super derivative, basically. So I'm sure that's appealing to some people. It's got some action scenes. I don't know.
See, now this is the part where I revealed that this has all been a test to see if you qualify to be a librarian or not.
Gasp.
Question 7. Say that I do end up enjoying this because of your excellent recommendation. What would be your number one follow-up? Doesn't necessarily have to be a sequel or anything, but where would I look if I wanted more of the same?
Okay. Well, I am going to point to the sequel, which is Ancillary Sword. It is off of the same thing after like the kind of final confrontation of the previous book. Breck heads to another station, a far-flung station in space to help protect a station that is on this planet, and the relative of an important person in her previous life. That one's a lot. The other two books in this series are pretty different in terms of like what's happening in them. Like, because this one is it has those two storylines. It's very much like what's going on exactly kind of thing. There's a bit of that, like trying to unravel the like machinations, politics kind of stuff in the next one. But it's much more like a more focused kind of story, which I like, because I think second books in series can sometimes have that like syndrome of, oh, this is very clearly just setting up the last book in the series kind of thing. It doesn't, the second books sometimes don't feel satisfying by themselves. In my opinion, this one doesn't. It's very it's very interesting. I think it also like explores some of the stuff that gets brought up in the first book a little bit more. If you and it explores like the setting itself as well. If you like that author, but want something kind of in a whole different culture and want to like get into a whole different kind of set of world building, she's written Provenance, which is in the same universe as the Ancillary series, but is a completely different character, different world, different set of rules. It's got like some of the stuff with aliens, which is the like big overarching plot that doesn't really touch on these books, is important for that one. But it kind of stands by itself. If you like this one and you don't want to read any more of that, I would suggest the Murderbot Diaries. They're really short. They're like little novellas. The main series is it 3 books or 4? I think it's 4. And she's also written like another one that's set kind of in the middle. That's a really short one, and then a longer like full-length novel. The first one in that series is called All Systems Red by Martha Wells. And I liked that one a lot. I did, like I said, I debated to bring that one on. It's really nice because it's super short. The audiobook version has my new favorite narrator. Like, I have sought out other books narrated by this guy because his voice is very nice. Yeah, and it's also got a not a ship character, but a like human machine construct hybrid named that calls itself Murderbot. And that story is like it's a lot tighter too. Basically the plot to that one is Murderbot has freed itself from the like control system that it has implanted in its brain, but it doesn't do anything with that. It has decided that it just really wants to watch TV soap operas, just endless soap operas, and not have to deal with people. And then it is forced to deal with people because its people get attacked on the survey planet they are on, and mystery and action ensues.
Yeah, and I mean, that kind of leads into with the name of that. It's like that's kind of what you're buying into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. It tells you right on the cover.
Exactly. Question 8. Sometimes our engagement with a piece of media comes from a position of relativity. Did you have a character that you related to, and if so, what drew you to them?
Ooh. No. I don't think that happened in this one. Like, I don't relate to Breck. I don't know what it's like to be a 1,000-year-old ship, and I don't know what it's like to be a fragment of a 1,000-year-old ship. And that's super cool. That's what I liked about it, was like that like seeing what that perspective was from the author's writing. Yeah. Not even like the side characters in this one. I loved the side characters. There's Lieutenant On. Syverden is the person I was talking, the individual who had been frozen and like thawed out recently and is having to deal with the trauma of that. That's super interesting. And then those are like the main side characters in this book, from what I'm remembering. Yeah, like I don't relate to them at all either, but like it's interesting to see their perspectives and how they're so very different from each other. I really liked that. Like this author definitely doesn't do cookie cutter characters. I really appreciate like the care that goes into and the way that like, because all of the narration is through Breck's eyes, and so like we have that like flawed narrator thing, and we're getting things from her perspective. So it's interesting to see like how she thinks these people are, especially. I wanted to mention because Lieutenant Syverden used to be one of Breck's lieutenants way back when. And it's kind of cool because Syverden was like, being on Justice of Torn was her first assignment. And so like Breck has all of these like memories of Syverden as like a very young, like 17-year-old lieutenant, and like how she grows and changes. It's super interesting. I love older characters too. That's a really fun thing that I think we don't get as often. Like fantasy novels especially have that trope of your characters are all young adventurers, they've just started out, or like sometimes you get grizzled old veterans, but that's not what this is. It's like old flawed people that have known each other for a while. Super interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I love doing this show just to hear people talk about stuff they love.
Yeah. It's fun.
Question 9. A lot of these interviews rely on the question of what would you bring with you to a desert island in order to get to know a person. But that's not this show. What we ask instead is to picture this scenario. You're on a deserted island with no hope of rescue, but food, water, shelter, and all of that has been taken care of so that you won't succumb before your natural time. You've also been provided with a single piece of media and the means to engage with it. And for you, it is ancillary justice. How frequently do you utilize it, and how long would it take for you to be sick of it?
Oh, goodness. I love this one. I think I just keep rereading it. There's enough, it's been, after I finished it, I have I'm always reading several things at once because I do reading for my job, and also I have to read a bunch of things at once because sometimes I'm not in the mood for one thing and I am in the mood for something else. So I usually have a couple books going at one time. I just finished one and I have another one currently on, so I have like 3 going right now. But this one particularly, because especially because the reveal doesn't happen until partway through, I think it's really interesting to go back and kind of pick up on the things that I didn't pick up on before. And the plot is it's not super of a twisty plot, but there's enough going on there that I can get different things. And I like the concept of all of the music. There are so many ways to especially I think it's really interesting. I'm glad I read it first instead of doing the audiobook. Because I like having I have my own interpretation of what the songs that are sung sound like. But it's also interesting to hear them. I hope on this desert island I get multiple formats because I would like to do that. Because could have fun with that. I have no idea how long it would take me to be sick of it. Probably like the third time, just because it is sort of a mystery story, and I can't do mystery stories repeated numbers of times always, because the idea of them is built on that like surprise factor. So I don't know how often I could do that,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I could keep doing it for a real long time after like that initial pause. Like do something else. And like you said, there's lots of like world building ideas built into this, where like, what if I wanted to run something that was in this world? That'd be cool. I could like spin off that and have several days of scribbling stuff on the sand of this beach that I'm on. I want to go on this vacation.
Yeah,
It sounds really nice.
exactly. It's like everything's looked after and you just get to relax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds ideal, really.
And that's all the questions I had, so thank you for indulging me.
Oh, goodness. I feel like I went faster that time, so I didn't ramble as much.
So,
That was super fun.
hopefully that's given people a little bit of a deeper insight into your perspective. And
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
yeah, same. And
Yeah, like I said, there's an audiobook version and a paper version. The audio there's a lot of not standard English spelling style names. So depending on your preferences there, the audiobook narrator is good, but like I don't know, I'm a book reader first and foremost. I can't really listen to stuff and absorb it super well the first time. So that'd be my recommendation, but the audio version is also good.
yeah. Now, before I ruin the show by talking for myself for a bit, it's time for everyone's favourite part, a word from the sponsors. Thank you, sponsors. Just top-notch work there.
My goodness.
Now, I have a
So
follow-up review.
delightful.
I have a follow-up review from last episode's enemy of the show and self-proclaimed sympathiser of the devil, Sean, and his recommendation of Scarlet Hollow. Is this something that you're familiar with?
I'm not. What is this?
So, Scarlet Hollow is an adventure game visual novel.
Ooh,
Kind of like a horror mystery thing.
cool. I'm
The
intrigued.
art is very good. It's by Abby Howard, who does
Oh, I know her. Okay.
Junior Scientist
her
Power
work.
Hour, I believe, is the big one.
Yeah.
But I know her best from The Last Halloween, which is also very good.
I was gonna say, I think I know her from Smutty Comics.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's not finished yet. It's only 3 parts out of, I think, 7 they've got planned.
Okay, cool. That's interesting.
But yeah, it is very good. I'm just trying to think of what best to say about it. The episodes are short, so you can get through them in relatively quick timing if you are committed to multiple playthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is, we explored this on the last episode, there are the character traits that you can pick. So you get 2 out of, I don't know, I think it's like 10 different traits that you can pick from in 2 different combinations.
Like what? What are the?
like,
Do you have examples?
You can be flirty, or you can be mystical, or tough, things like that.
Cool.
And they have their own particular interactions within the series.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously someone who's flirty is going to be more sociable, like
Yeah,
the dating
have a
aspect,
different.
but might not be as successful when trying to run away from monsters.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're a speedy as well.
Also depends on the monster, I guess.
That's fair. That's fair.
Some might like
Bards.
being flirty.
Or, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, I ran with mystical as one of mine, and it's like basically every chapter is just like, oh, I am having visions and something is going to go wrong unless we do X in a weird way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I think I've managed to get as many people to survive as I could, because there's a definite, you could have literally everyone die and the whole world goes wrong at any point.
Excellent. TPK.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
TPK option.
There's an option in one of the episodes to trade away years of your life for someone else,
Fascinating.
and it's
Okay, wait, I
interesting to
have a
see. It's
question.
interesting to see how those choices break down at the end. Yes, question.
Yeah. You're saying episodes. Are they like interconnected sort of things, or is it all
Yeah,
like
it's like
different but in the
chapters of a
same?
story.
Okay, so you have the same character throughout,
Exactly.
or
Yes,
okay,
and it's just like
cool.
because it's told over a week in game.
What's the setting?
It is. I think it's close to like Seattle, like on the West Coast. Wait.
Okay, like modern
Yeah.
kind of thing. Are they what age range?
Uh, looks to be 20s for a lot
Okay,
of the characters.
cool.
Yeah, it's basically a sleepy mining town.
Oh, Okay, that got my attention. I do like mining town sort of
Yeah,
dramas. That's what
it's
I'm planning.
it's like you're going for the funeral of like your aunt, I believe it is. And it's
Okay,
like you have to
cool.
deal with this whole side of the family that you basically didn't know existed until recently, because
Ooh.
your mother and the other relatives had a bit of a falling out.
Okay.
So you're trying to build that relationship while also hunting for cryptids and solving this mystery to make sure that you can get out of the week alive.
I need to find this. This sounds really cool to me.
It is on Steam. And yeah,
Okay. All right.
I would
I will
definitely
add it to my
recommend it for
list.
you personally as well.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna add it to my list. Excellent. I love it.
So I think all in all, I would give it a 4 out of 5. It's very good. It does have a little bit of polish left to do because it is technically
Mm,
like early access. They're building it as they
mm-hmm.
go type of thing.
Yeah.
And they do sometimes do retroactive patches. Like I think even,
That's hard in a
yeah,
story. It seems like.
I mean, like this last week or two, I think they updated some of the older art, because it's like, oh, we've realized that this character is a bit more important than we initially planned, so we've given her a big glow up.
Hmm.
And it's like we don't really change much of the story because that's already written, but we'll tweak some minor things every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah. So before we wrap up the final ever episode of Check This Out for this recording session, and 20th time I've made that joke, could you tell the audience where they might find you, or if you have anything to advertise?
I am at Yarn YARN Quester. And I play with Final Show Films, and I'm going to be running a game soon. Soon being like several months because we have to finish the previous one. But I'm going to be running a Changeling the Lost second edition chronicle set in, a mining town. Go figure.
Yeah.
Of up the setting is going to be up at around Michigan Tech, which is the university up here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is the state I live in. My brother went in there, went to school there. I'm so sorry for all of the factual inaccuracies I'm going to introduce, but there will be spooky, weird things. There will be a kraken at some point, because I love a kraken, and there's a lake nearby.
Yeah, I mean, what's cracking?
Exactly. It's very good. Yeah, that's what I got.
God, I'm just jealous of time zones at this point now.
I know.
Oh,
I want to keep. It's a setting that like I have a lot of ideas for. So there's. It's not just. I don't think it's just going to be this game, unless I just really hate running Changeling.
yeah, fair.
Because I've never run it before. So if you want to listen to someone who barely knows what they're doing run a Changeling game, stay tuned in like September, I think.
Yeah. And in the meantime, if you ever need anyone to do like a solo session where I can just fuck some shit up for people.
Oh, wait, heck yes. Hey, we're gonna, okay. We need to do, we will
talk
plan
off
off
air.
air.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we will talk more. Okay.
And on that note,
Bye.
I've been Al.
I've been Mara.
And this has been Check This Out, a podcast of media positivity. And remember, you can kill 2 early birds with 1 worm.